Am I the asshole for adopting a kitten and refusing to give her back to her previous owner? I, 21F, went to an animal shelter about 2 weeks ago and fell in love with this gorgeous 6-month-old kitten, who was so friendly and needed a home. I asked the team about her history to find out why she was here, and they said she was found in the road, abandoned and bitten by a dog. I immediately filled in the adoption paperwork for this kitty, but she was still healing, so I couldn't take her home straight away. On Saturday she was finally spayed, microchipped and ready to come to her new home, which she has slotted into perfectly. So tonight I received a call and message from an unknown number that says she is the owner of my kitten and she wants her back. She said she saw a post on Facebook that I had adopted her kitten and tracked me down on Instagram to find my phone number on my business's account. She explained that she moved out of her parents' house where the kitten lived and that she had to wait for her new landlord to tell her if she can have a kitten or not. She said the kitten kept trying to find her, and one morning the kitten went outside to find and wasn't seen again. She asked me if she can have her kitten back. She will even pay for her because she's been looking for her for a month and sent me photos to prove it is hers. I told her that I adopted her from an animal shelter where she was recovering from a dog bite and kept in a cage, and that I am not interested in giving her back. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. The kitten wasn't chipped. There's no documentation proving she owned the cat. Block her and move on. Not the asshole. I would be completely uncomfortable if someone found my information like that and tried to convince me to give them my kitten. I adopted an abandoned kitten in 2023. I'd block her. You adopted that kitten, followed all the procedures, and if she had had that kitten previously, she clearly didn't look hard enough, as you found her in a shelter. If my cat got out, the first places I'd be looking are shelters. In my area we have a 7-day stray hold to allow owners the opportunity to get their pets back. If they don't within that time frame, then the animal is up for adoption. As long as the shelter followed their standard process for strays, the kitten is yours. Why didn't she contact the shelter immediately to see if her kitten was picked up? When our cat escaped and went missing, I contacted every shelter in my area and provided pictures and info about him. They all posted the pics and info on their social media and kept an eye out for him in their intakes. He didn't show up, but if he had I would have been notified, even disregarding that he was chipped anyway. Absolutely not the asshole. The kitten wasn't chipped, was left out on the street. No way was the kitten trying to find her. And who knows if it's even the same kitten. Not the asshole. I volunteer for an animal rescue, and when people who care lose their pets, they're contacting every shelter, rescue, posting online, making flyers, etc. to try to find their pet. The shelter took the kitten in, had the kitten long enough to have it heal from an injury, and then fix, vaccinate, and microchip the pet. If the person had invested even the amount of time in finding the kitten that they did tracking you down via the internet, they would have found them at the local shelter. That's your cat, not theirs. Not the asshole. The kitten wasn't chipped. There's no documentation proving she owned the cat. Block her and move on. Am I the asshole for asking my sister-in-law to help pay for cleaning after her kids drew on my walls? Names changed for privacy. I'm 25F. My husband is 23 male. We just repainted our living room after weeks of patching and sanding. You could still smell the paint. We hosted family dinner last weekend. Nothing fancy, pasta and garlic bread. Everyone brought something. My sister-in-law Jess 32F brought her twins 5M, so I set up a kids' table in the den with paper washable markers and snacks so they'd have their own area. I went to grab more drinks and my stomach dropped because living room wall had loops and zigzags all over the fresh paint. One of the twins handed me a marker cap and said oopsie. I didn't even know what to say for a second. I called Jess in. She kind of laughed and said boys will be boys, they'll get bored, so I tried wiping and the color just smeared into the matte paint. Jess said they're little once and I can repaint. That stung. I'd spent nights on that wall. The next morning I bought the fancy cleaners the paint store recommended. The ink lifted in spots, so did the paint. We called a painter and he texted a quote for $200 to sand, prime, and redo the one wall, so I texted Jess asking if she could help cover it since I set up the drawing area and the kids wandered anyway. She said I was punishing creativity and I should have put the markers away completely. Tom says I'm making too much of it. He feels for Jess, she's a single mom and money is tight, and he thinks this just starts drama. My mom said Jess should at least offer something. Tom's brother helped me clean that night without making a scene and said he'd talk to her. His mom told me to chill. Kids will be kids. I keep going back and forth. We put time and money into the space, and I tried to plan for the twins. Asking for help with the repaint feels fair to me. And then I think about Jess's budget, and I feel mean. What really got me was the laugh, and the "it's just paint" comment, and it made me feel silly for caring about my own house. Am I the asshole for asking my sister-in-law to pay part of the repainting cost? Buy a multipack of Sharpies to gift the twins next time you visit them at their house. Never leave kids alone with items that will harm themselves or their surroundings. You gave them markers. That's on you. No one supervised them. They are 5. You all suck. The mother is excusing the behavior as creativity. She's an asshole setting her kids up for failure instead of teaching them manners, rules, and civility. Not the asshole, but I wouldn't push her to pay for it. I would just never invite them over to your home again. When they ask, if they ask, say they aren't welcome after they damaged your home. Be firm. Say you are happy to go to their house or meet in the community. By the way, I'd lose my shit if my nieces and nephews drew on my walls. Their parents would too. Not the asshole, but also, I'd say the kids should not be invited back unless the parents are more prepared to help supervise. I probably would have offered to repaint the wall if money was tight. She had options. Not the asshole. When it's her house, she can have that attitude. When it's someone else's house, she needs to take property damage seriously. Even family. This "boys will be boys" attitude needs to stop now before they learn they can get away with misbehaving and damage without punishment. Soon those 5-year-olds will be 10, then 14, then 18. Her attitude to their behavior gets a lot less acceptable as they get older, and the damage they can do gets a lot more serious. At the very least, the kids owe you a sincere thank you. Going forward, they shouldn't be left unattended if she can't be responsible for watching them. And I'd be very hesitant to invite them over again for a long time. If your husband wants to spend time with family, he can talk to one of them about hosting. I would definitely ask her to contribute costs. At 5 years old, they should know better, and I would question her parenting skills. Am I the asshole for not packing my husband's lunch? Am I the asshole for not packing my husband's lunch every day for work? This has been an ongoing argument between my husband and I. We repeatedly have arguments about finances. For years he has bought his lunch, bought coffee in the mornings, etc. During our financial arguments, I frequently bring up the fact that he buys lunch daily. That if he was so concerned about money, then he would cut buying lunch every day. I am a paid caretaker for our disabled child, so essentially get paid to be a som to our disabled son. He says that because I am home and not busy, that I can pack his lunch. I am far from not busy. I clean the house daily, laundry and dishes daily, pack lunch in backpacks and taxi drive our children everywhere, as well as multiple meetings, DR's appointment, therapy apps, etc. for our disabled son. I don't feel that I should be packing a lunch for this grown-ass man. He is perfectly capable. He's just unwilling and feels that it's my job to do this. He works out of the house and commutes over an hour each way. To say that I handle everything on the home front and with our kids would be an understatement. I do not purchase coffee or lunch or anything of the sort. When I do, he points out how I'm home and have access to cook my own food at home. The only consistent thing I spend money on is getting my hair done every 6 weeks, which I told him I would start doing myself to save money. So am I the asshole? You've got your hands full. It might be nice if he packed the lunches for everyone to help take care of his family from time to time. FFS, these comments do not pass the vibe check. OP is managing all domestic responsibilities and the full-time caretaker of their disabled child. I would bet her husband has more free time and more breathing room in a day than she does. He could be more supportive and stop acting like she's his personal servant. Not the asshole. The man is an adult. He can put together a sandwich and throw it in a bag. Not the asshole, but he sure is. Lunch is expensive. Making lunch is a life skill. You are busy AF, and there are many studies showing how much more stressful that som life is than working outside the home. I'm about to throw your husband in the trash for you. Saying he's an is not going far enough for me. Obvious, not the asshole. Your arguments are solid. Does he help out with the kids, including your disabled son, when he is not working? Does he do other things around the house? He doesn't seem to realize how much work running a household and care for your children entails if he thinks you're not busy. Do you often feel underappreciated? Not the asshole. People saying, you're already packing lunches, just pack his. Y'all, I doubt he wants to eat what she packs for the kids. I would assume he needs a larger, more substantial meal than children. That's just extra work for her. And saying she's home all day, or, I doubt you're actually busy all day. She's literally caring for a disabled child 24/7, and it sounds like other children as well. She is also working a full-time job, even if she is working in the house. From the time she gets up to the time she goes to bed. Girl, you deserve to get your hair done. It's an hour or two of relaxation every 6 weeks. I'm sure husband gets to relax after work while she entertains and cares for the children. Not the asshole. You're a caretaker for your son, not your husband. The fact that he thinks you aren't busy says a lot. Also the fact that he feels entitled to free and thankless labor from you. Am I the asshole? I canceled my baby shower. Emile was throwing a week out. I feel like I might be the AH. Emile was to throw me a baby shower. I agreed a few months ago as I appreciated the thought and effort, although I felt uncomfortable as I wanted to plan my own, though I didn't voice this. I knew it was going to be a really traditional type baby shower, which although I've been to a few and enjoyed them, just isn't me at all. My relationship with my in-laws is good in general. There's no real underlying issue between Emile and I otherwise, other than her being slightly overbearing and involved at times. She chose the venue at her home, kind but an hour from where I live. She talked about inviting her friends I had never heard of, but no warmth towards the idea of me inviting my own family. After I asked if I could, her words said yes, her manner said no. She invited her friends. I didn't invite anyone. A week prior I fell into pregnancy blues. I really felt uncomfortable about the idea of being the center of attention in a celebration that didn't feel like me or mine, particularly when I was feeling so low. I messaged and let her know I wasn't comfortable and would like to cancel. It's gone down very badly due to only being a week earlier, and that I didn't want to attend. I understand my Emile put time and effort into organizing it. Emile has let everyone except me know she is very upset. Am I the asshole? Edit. Thanks everyone. Been really helpful getting my head around the hurt of my family being excluded/discomfort I felt versus being able to see it from the other side. I should have just invited my family. Also my lack of communication from the start being an issue. That's helpful for me as a person. It's hard to remove yourself emotionally at times, and opinions were helpful for me to do just that. Tried to call her, but no answer. Sent her an apology, reimbursement of any costs, and offer of lunch this week. AITA. You do realize that all these people already bought gifts for you and set aside their day for you? If you didn't want this, a week out was not the time to say. After I asked if I could, her words said yes, her manner said no. She invited her friends. I didn't invite anyone. You are the asshole. She said yes, but you did not make an effort to invite your family/friends to be with you and support you. By the way, you haven't made mention of what your husband thought or had to say. You are the asshole, sorry. You should have been honest with her from the start, instead of let her steamroll over you and your own wants. Instead, she's probably spent a lot of time and expense to host a party for your benefit. All the people she invited will now have to return the gifts they've bought, and throw away or find a way to dispose of all the food too. This was one of those times you should have considered the greater good and just kept your commitment. You are the asshole. If you didn't want to agree to it, you say something up front, not a week before when invites are sent and people are already planning to attend. Maybe talk to your OB about those pregnancy blues. You are the asshole. You admit she isn't problematic in general, and she wanted to celebrate you with her family and friends. She told you that you could invite your family, and you didn't do it. Canceling a week before is an asshole move. I wanted to plan my own. Throwing yourself a baby shower is tacky and looks like a gift grab. Don't do that. You are the asshole. Life isn't always about you. Emile organized an event to get you gifts and celebrate her grandchild. You can be uncomfortable for a couple of hours. It's part of living in community and being human.